So in this video, I'll talk about the DSA problem of Fibonacci. This question has been asked to me in almost 95% of the interview that I have faced. It is that much favorable question for all of the interviewer, right? By Fibonacci, what do we aim? Given an n value, we aim to create a series of up to n value, and the series should be created in a manner that the resultant is the summation of the previous two elements. So in this case, we begin with 0, 1. This is the initialized condition for any Fibonacci sequence. Now we need to go up till 6, right? So first we will have 0 plus 1. 0 plus 1 will become 1. Now we will have 1 plus 1. Basically, we keep on summing the previous two element. 1 plus 1 will become 2. 1 plus 2 will become 3. 2 plus 3 will become 5, right? And that is how this whole sequence is getting generated. The implementation is fairly simple. I'll start with a very basic implementation. We initialize n equal to 6. We initialize the Fibonacci list with 0 comma 1. Now we utilize the for loop while ln of Fibonacci list is less than n. Remember to not write less than equal to. It needs to be less than n only, because indexes begins with 0 and usually the n value will be n plus 1, right? So here what we need to do, we need to append the previous two elements. So whatever was the previous two elements, so minus 1 will give me the latest element and minus 2 will give me the second last element, right? Now I can move ahead and simply print this, and this will give me the complete Fibonacci sequence. And I hope this is fairly intuitive to you, that we initialize with 0, 1, then we keep on appending things append until we reach the nth value. And the way append is happening is we apply the summation, we do the adding operation between 1 and 0 for the first iterations. So this will give us the 1. Then we do the addition operation between 1 and 1, right? Whatever was the resultant we append this, then the same thing will happen between 1 and 1. This will give us 2, and finally this will help us to reach this sequence, right? Now there are some key consideration that you should be aware of, and any interviewer will look forward to if you are implementing that edge cases or that basic if conditions. So one basic if condition is, if like let's say if n is less than or equal to 0, you do not need to pass on any sequence, you just need to pass empty list. If like let's say n is less than or equal to 1, in such a case uh, you just need to pass 0, right? Not less than equal to 1. If n equal to 1, so you just need to pass a list that has only one element as 0. If n equal to 2, then you need to pass 0, 1. So in that way you are avoiding going into any iteration. And if only your n value is greater than 2, then only you move ahead and uh, like go into the looping iteration, right? So what I just mentioned, I'll quickly implement this. Fibonacci using function and conditions, generate Fibonacci. This accepts n as the argument. Here n equal to 6. Now we have initialized the Fibonacci series list as 0 comma 1. So the condition that I just talked about, if n is less than or equal to 0, we simply need to return empty list. If n is equal to 1, we need to return just 0. If n equal to 2, we need to return 0 comma 1, right? It is only after this, if n is greater than 2, then only you go inside all of this looping iteration, and finally you can return to those series list. right? We can now call this function. We can pass the n value as 6. I'll again execute this, and this is giving me the end output. I hope this was fairly intuitive and this helps you. Now, it is also expected from your side that you know the implementation of Fibonacci using recursion. And if you have understood this implementation, the recursion is becomes fairly easy then. I'll quickly change this to Fibonacci using recursion, right? All of these conditions remains the same. The only difference that will happen, actually, let me correct this in here also. I mean, it is fine, and here also. Okay. So the key difference over here will be inside the else block. The whole looping syntax will fade away. Now this will be pivot series is equal to, you call this function recursively, and this becomes n minus 1, right? Now whatever value that you will get, you apply the same formula, append pivot series list of minus 1 plus pivot series list of minus 2, right? uh, and this is how, with the help of recursion, you will be able to achieve the Fibonacci sequence. I'll move ahead and execute this and see we are getting it. So the way this thing is functioning is, uh, with the help of generator internally, Python utilizes the stack memory. So we pass the n value as 6. So all of this condition became false. It reached to the else block. Initially, the n value is 6, and 6 called the 5, right? So the iteratively the thing will happen as 6 called 5, right? Now 5 will call 4 because n minus 1. So n becomes 5, and n minus 1 becomes 4. 4 will call 3, 3 will call 2. It is at this point when the 3 calls 2, we already are returning something. We are returning 0 comma 1. So at the 3, when n is 3, you are getting a list here as 0 comma 1. Now the whole thing will trace back forward. Here the end result would be 0 comma 1, and eventually you did this append operation, and so in the Fibonacci series list, one word was inserted, right? uh, Now this was the result for this case. So this was returned for 4, and now we again did the append operation. Now 1 plus 1 will become 2. Now this will happen here, right? So 1 plus 2 will become 3, and finally we reach here, and here it becomes 5. Okay. Yeah, and this is how the whole thing is functioning. Let me not remove this. Let me just come in this. Okay. Now that we have understood till this generating a Fibonacci sequence, we should also be aware of generating a Fibonacci sequence using generator. So the way to do this is, we can implement a function generate Fibonacci using generator. This accepts n as a in the argument. You initialize your a comma b as 0 comma 1, right? Now this particular index variable is not needed, so we can apply the Python convention as underscore, as that will not be in use. We go up to n for underscore in range of n, sorry, right? We keep on yielding the a. This is the heart of this whole thing, and we keep on swapping the value in such a manner that A becomes the old B and B becomes the A plus B. So by that, what do we mean? A becomes the old B and B will become A plus B, right? Now you can call this function by directly consuming this generator using list, and you pass on this n value as 6. We can execute this, and yeah, this is how the whole thing is also see a very relevant related problem, a DSA problem related to this whole Fibonacci sequence stuff only. So given n equal to 6, we need to create a pattern something like this, right? I'll leave, or I'll suggest you guys to pause this video for maybe 15 seconds and try to understand what kind of pattern is being generated here. So the pattern over here is uh, the last four element is getting sum. So in Fibonacci, we were just adding the previous two element, right? But over here, we are adding the last four element. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 becomes 10. Now 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 10 becomes 19. We can implement this. So let's say Fibo 4 series. By default, the condition for such kind of problem statement will be you are initialized with 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And you need to go up and until you reach the n value as 6. So again, the same formula, while len of Fibo 4 series is less than n, where n is the 6. Here, what you need to do, you need to append the same formula, but the only difference here will be you can use sum or you can implement your own in-house summation function. I'll just use the internal function for the demo purpose. You utilize Fibo 4 series and you need to go till the last four value, right? So this is how the whole summation will take care of. And if you finally print this will give you this pattern. Sorry. Okay. I hope this whole session was really useful for you. And I'll highly suggest you guys to at least have a good hands-on practice with Fibonacci sequence, because this is a very important question that is asked in all of my that has been asked at least to me in all of my videos.